So we're looking at the theme failed and painful love, neutral tones versus when we two parted. So both poets present love as painful, however Hardy presents emotional emptiness, whereas Byron presents lasting grief. Neutral tones, white sun, which shows dead love, had fallen, which shows past tense, relationship is over. When we two parted, pale groovy sheet, which shows physical reaction to heartbreak, silence and tears, which shows secrecy and suffering, half-broken heart, which shows long-lasting pain. So if I had to compare this, I would say Hardy presents love as empty and lifeless, whereas Byron presents it as deeply painful and enduring.
Learn with Miss BB and smash the AOs.
Before we even look at the answer, we need to be really clear on what the examiner is asking us to do. This is an AQA poetry comparison question. This question is worth 30 marks, plus 4 marks for spelling, punctuation, and grammar. So everything you write needs to be analytical and precise. What you have to do, number one, this is really important. You are not just analysing one poem, you must compare the named poem, so the poem that you have been given, and one other poem from the anthology. I always teach you like this. Keep it simple and clear. Your introduction, paragraph 1, compare idea 1. Paragraph 2, compare idea 2, and then a conclusion. Right, let's start by reading the question carefully. Compare how poets present love as painful. So the key theme here is painful. Straight away, what is the key word? Painful. So everything we must link back to has to be about love being painful. What do you need to do? This is a comparison question, so you must write about both poems and compare throughout. Use quotes from both. Analyze methods, your AO2. Include context, your AO3. So what is this line showing you? This is basically your revision map. Hardy, colours, imagery, which shows emptiness, past tense, relationship is over, God cursed son, which shows a bitterness, and Byron shows dark imagery, suggesting grief, repetition, which shows ongoing pain. In silence and in tears, which shows secrecy. Which poet shows love as completely dead? The answer is Hardy. And which poet shows it as an ongoing pain? Byron. Please take a screenshot. This is exactly what you revised for before the exam. So if you are given a question on failed or painful love, these two poems will work really well. So you can compare both of these poems. It could be that one of the poem is already given to you in the exam, and then you can compare it with the other poem. Let's look at this introduction. So what does the student do well? They mention both poems. They answer the question immediately. They show differences clearly. They say Hardy, empty and lifeless. Byron, intense and enduring grief. That's a really strong comparison. For the AO3, they also include context. Hardy, pessimistic, can't say the word, sorry. Byron, romantic, emotional. That pushes it higher. Why is it important to compare in the introduction instead of writing about one poem? Shows clear argument from the start and hits AO1. You don't need to bring in quotations in the introduction, but just make sure that you show the examiner that you know what they have asked you to do, and that is compare. Top students, they don't describe, they argue from the first line. So show the examiner that you are here to argue. Now, paragraph 1, this is quite a strong paragraph. They start with, both poets present love as painful, but. That but shows difference, and this is what gets you the higher marks. They talk about greyish leaves, that is AO2 methods. They're zooming into those words, which shows no colour and emotional emptiness. Byron, pale and now, which shows death imagery, suggesting grief. So what makes this a grade 9? They don't just spot imagery, they explain it. They explain the word colourless, which suggests numbness, and dark imagery, which suggests mourning. They link Hardy with Byron, and they they show the differences. Which poet shows love as numb rather emotional? That's Hardy. If you remember one thing, always explain the effect of the word. Paragraph 2. So this is where the student moves into a more developed idea. They don't repeat, they develop. Now the focus is Hardy, bitterness over time, Byron, ongoing emotional pain. Why is a strong analysis? Hardy had fallen, which is a past tense, shows that love is over. God cursed then, which shows bitterness. Byron, repetition, in silence and in tears, which shows ongoing pain. Or what I feel shows emotion continues. Hardy, love becomes negative. Byron, grief never ends. And that's conceptual thinking, which is top band. They link Hardy, cynical view, with Byron's emotional personal suffering. Which poet suggests the pain never ends? The answer is Byron. Notice how comparison is constant, not just built. Find the conclusion. What works well? They've got a clear summary, direct comparison, mention methods, they link to context. They say Hardy, empty and bitter, Byron, intense grief. And why is this strong? They don't just repeat, they refine the argument. If you had to improve this conclusion, what could you add? You could have perhaps include a sharper final idea about pain, or maybe more precise method reference. If you write like this, clear comparison, zoomed in analysis and consistent argument, you are hitting the top bands.